Ratanjit Pratap Narayan Singh ji.
On empowering cities to fund infrastructure, Honorable Minister, expanding our national infrastructure is absolutely essential to achieve a $5 trillion economy by 2029. While India has experienced rapid growth, becoming the world's fastest growing economy in 2026, for sustainable long-term growth, we urgently need world-class logistics and industrial corridors in our Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. To resolve this capital bottleneck and reduce central reliance, will the Finance Minister consider establishing a dedicated municipal bond guarantee fund with partial sovereign backing? By introducing this structural financial reform, we can empower capable urban local bodies to independently raise private capital, develop regional infrastructure hubs and accelerate our overall national economic growth.
Honorable Minister.
This is a very interesting question, sir. As it is, the 16th Finance Commission has taken both municipalities and also the urban local municipal bodies and the panchayats into their calculation, and the allocation made for the urban local bodies and the municipalities is far higher than ever before. That is one major empowering of the municipal bodies. Other than that, the central government is also giving a 50-year interest-free loan to the states. We call it a loan, eventually it will be only a grant, through which asset creation at the municipal levels is also possible. And many states are doing exemplary asset creation at the municipal and also the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. On the specific point of municipal bonds and creating a fund for supporting the sovereign, there are several capacity-related issues for the municipal bodies to get into the bond market. We've had some success in the examples of Surat and many other indoor and cities like that. But municipal capacity, the human capacity to be able to catch up with these things are simultaneously being worked upon. So once we think we have reached a stage, there can be very many proposals which can be considered, but at the moment there is no provision for a fund to support this.
Second supplementary, Dr. Ajit Madhavrao Kopchade ji.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय, माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व में भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था को नई ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचाने के लिए सरकार द्वारा किए जा रहे प्रयासों की मैं सराहना करता हूं। मैं माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी से यह प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूं कि क्या माननीय वित्त मंत्री महोदय यह स्पष्ट करेंगे कि $5 ट्रिलियन अर्थव्यवस्था का लक्ष्य विकसित भारत 2047 की दिशा में केवल एक आर्थिक पड़ाव है, या इसके लिए सरकार ने निवेश, रोजगार, नवाचार, विनिर्माण और निर्यात को एकीकृत करने वाली कोई समग्र राष्ट्रीय कार्य योजना भी तैयार की है क्या?
The honourable member has raised the specific point of whether the government has got a comprehensive program or scheme through which innovation, investment and many other that he named can all be given an impetus so that this $5 trillion economy does not become one destination but towards the longer growth story of India. Are we taking initiatives? There are several initiatives which are actually a part of this written answer that we've given, not just from the government but also through ease of doing business, the regulators coming into the play so that everything becomes easier for investors. Also for innovation, we are supportive of the startups in such a way that when they want to register a patent, it doesn't take too long, and the patent which is registered can also be quickly commercialized. Other than this, there are several such programs through various departments, like the PLIs that we give, which is an extremely good success story in not just getting one particular industry to manufacture, but to bring the entire ecosystem itself, is paying off very well for the economy to be growing.
Third supplementary, Shriman Pramod Boraji.
Honorable Chairman Sir, with your permission, I want to ask Madam Finance Minister, in view of the government's objective of making India a $5 trillion economy by the financial year 2028-29, will the Honorable Minister be pleased to state how the farmers of the country are expected to benefit from the achievement of this objective in terms of increase of farmers' income in real terms? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Sir, actually, as regards farmers, I am very glad to say because of the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, we are maximizing on the procurement of every listed 22 items of the cereals and pulses. There is a great emphasis given for Dalhan and Kohan, through which farmers who are growing difficult-based crops are also able to earn very good value. The move towards getting ethanol from sugarcane and from maize has also added to the income of the farmers. The direct transfer of 6,000 rupees to the accounts of the farmers so that they can take care of any input cost additions or any emergency in the household has also given them additional income. Moreover, the Kisan Credit Card is now extended even for animal husbandry and for fisheries. So people who are growing fish in backyard ponds or keeping cattle are also given assistance through the KCC, and a concessional loan is provided to them. Even more, not just animal husbandry and fisheries, keeping goats or pigs, keeping piggery also is given, and that has made a lot of difference for the Northeast in particular. And these kind of steps have ensured that farmers are able to get better value for their produce. More importantly, sir, farmers are using solar pumps through which they've saved on electricity cost, and as it is, because of solar pumps, they are able to produce much more than what they require. So they upload it to the grid and they are getting paid for each of the megawatt that they are producing. So farmers are becoming Urja Data for the country also. So there are very many such steps through which farmers are able to benefit by the Viksit Bharat initiatives that we are taking. The PM Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, which is spread over 100 districts in the country, particularly where the agricultural productivity is poor, are directly helping the farmers to have better irrigation, better cropping, better value addition, high quality seeds and better marketing. All this is aimed at improving the farmers' lot.
Fourth supplementary, Srimati Darshana Singh ji.
मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री जी से जानना चाहती हूं कि भारत की डिजिटल अर्थव्यवस्था और यूपीआई जैसी डिजिटल भुगतान व्यवस्था ने छोटे व्यापारियों, ग्रामीण उद्यमियों तथा महिलाओं की आर्थिक भागीदारी बढ़ाने में क्या भूमिका निभाई है?
I am not going to call anyone if you are shouting like this. Why I should call? You are not interested in running the house. Why I should call? Everybody is shouting like as they like.
Specific question on the steps that are being taken to empower women and also small MSME units which are present in the rural areas. MSMEs have actually benefited in several ways, sir. One, the definition was enhanced. The benefits which are being given to the MSMEs is not being withdrawn. More than that, timely payment of dues. For that, we brought in changes through the law, and within 90 days, people do get their returns. Actually, we hope that because the Udyam portal has now received all the registrations of MSMEs, and through the Udyam portal, we are able to clear the dues of the MSMEs. Other than that, for the MSMEs, for the inputs which go into their manufacturing, we have reduced the customs duty also on very many intermediary products which will be of help for them. Even more than that, the ONDC, the Open Network Digital Commerce, has helped MSMEs reach global markets because now they are, without much of expenditure from their side, are able to use the digital platform as well. Similarly, programs like National Rural Livelihood Mission, and also because of the Drone Didi and the Lakpati Didi programs, and the way in which women farmers are also being put into the FPOs, we are giving women entrepreneurs in the rural areas a lot more help so that they can aspire to earn more and become Lakpati Didis. Some of the Lakpati Didis themselves have said that they are now wanting to become Crorepati Didis because of the success of the program. These are the ways in which we are reaching.
Thank you. Shivaji, before calling you, I want to know on which subject you want to speak. If you want to speak the same subject in the morning, I'm not going to allow you because that is a state subject and the ruling party of that state have no representation here, so they cannot give you a reply, so I am not going to allow that. No, you tell me. Give the mic to Shivaji ji. But before speaking, you should tell what subject you are. If you are raising the same law and order subject, I am not going to allow you.
No. This is Council of State, sir.